Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast, the podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United related. Please big up to Rants as well. He says if everyone has everyone who's been redirected from Red Talk. So big up to Rants, big up Dave, big up big up Dave as well. Big up Saeed. Big up Ty. Large up everyone who's joined over from the raid. Big up to everyone who was here before the raid as well. Make sure you hit the like button on the video, like Rance said here. Smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to Rance's channel as well. Don't forget over here kicking down doors for all content creators. That's my bro right there. So make sure you check out the Red Talk show after this one. Great show. Myself, Rance, Ty from Never a Foul, and of course Saeed. Very, very, very good show. Good debates as always as well. But bump up the likes here. Still share across all the socials though. There's over 200 people in here. Share across all the socials, and on top of that, subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV as well. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. Like I stated, this is the ManDem United podcast, which is the Manchester United show on the channel. So keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United related. And these likes is way too low. Like check 1212, man. Only at 45 likes and there's over 230 people in here. What are we doing? Let's bump up those likes as well. Large up the guy Zeno, who is back. Good to have Zeno back. Old Sarcasm City heads will know. So Zeno will be with us very, very shortly as well. MYFY, I see you. Big up to Shakar, Warrior J, Zanos, I see you. Broderick Fail as well, who says big up Flawless. Great stream with the gang. Catch you after time. Hey, large up every single time, man. Big up Jesse, I see you as well. Big up to Sharif, who says Flawless, one of my favorite Manchester United podcasters, always keeping it 100. I try, man. I try to be as balanced as possible. I really, really, really do. Hey, big up to my guy Jay Socials as well, who says it's always great seeing y'all on Red Talk as well. Drizzy Des, good to see you in the chat. But let me introduce the first special guest, because we got two special guests joining. First special guest I'm going to introduce. Been a minute since he's been on, so I don't know his thoughts on a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Great content creator though. Was on here like old, like people who've been watching Sarcasm City TV for a strong minute will remember him. My like Zeno is in the building. Yeah, Zeno, what are you telling me?
Yo, what's up? I'm back like Pogba, and nothing's. Bro, do you know what? I thought we've moved on from being depressed on United shows, but
Same
it's
shit.
back, bro.
Same shit. Yeah,
Do you know
we was talking during the Ollie era. Yeah. During
bro,
the
them
Ollie era is
days,
crazy.
the PTSD is crazy, but the only good thing is, we get to come on here and talk to everyone and let it all out and vent to each other. It's free therapy,
Facts.
so I'm done.
Facts. 100%. So yeah, man, good to have you back, Zeno. Like I said, it's been a minute. There's a lot to discuss with Manchester United, as always. Big up to my guy Eddie. Says shout out Flawless. Make sure you subscribe to It's Just Me. Let me get to this. Says hi Flawless. I hope you're well. Harsh and Palestri on Rance's stream. It wasn't a shot at Palestri's ability. The point that I was making is everybody is currently criticizing Garnacho, rightfully so, for his performances. The whole thing is start Palestri, start Palestri, start Palestri. I hear it because the front three is not performing well. But what I'm saying is the performances we are getting from Palestri off the bench, I don't think we get them starting. Because his best attributes is coming on against tired defenders when the game is stretched, whether Manchester United are winning, whether we're drawing, or whether we're losing. That's what he needs, space to operate in. But playing from the start is a whole different kettle of fish. Very similar to Garnacho. Garnacho off the bench I have no issue with. But Garnacho, when he's starting, you see his limitations. And I think we are going to see Palestri's limitations. Because the level of expectation for a Manchester United attacker is through the roof. Like somebody said on Rance's stream, oh, he started for Uruguay. And he was average. He was okay. Okay, don't cut it at Manchester United. Our fan base is cutthroat. It's bloodthirsty. If you are not performing well, you will be criticized. To me, sometimes over the top. And that's what it is with Palestri. Not saying I don't rate him. Not saying that he's not good. And to the Dreamer says, but if you don't give a man a chance, how are you going to know? The thing that's crazy about the Dreamer is, I said I would pick him to start. So again, I know you might not have been there at the end, but we all did our threes. We all picked our starting threes. I would start him against Forest. Not because I want to, because we have to. We can't start Anthony. There's nobody else. So I would start him. But like I said, let him go and put in an average performance and watch it change. Very similar, very, very similar to Mason Mount. Because I was told, oh, that's a good signing. Back the manager blindly. You don't know what you're talking about, etc. 2 weeks in, And some people are already celebrating his injury, which we'll get into as well. But yeah, we'll start there. We'll go to that. Zeno, chat to me. Mason Mount out for 4 to 6 weeks. Thoughts?
I'm extremely happy. Look at my smile.
Oh my God.
Bro, number 7. I don't know. I've been saying it on my TikTok videos. We gave him the number 7 of Manchester United. I don't know if it hurts anyone else, but it hurts me so much. Best Beckham, Ronaldo, Cantona, Mason Mount.
Jesus. That's not it, man. Jesus.
I don't know with Mount if he was meant to be a starting signing. He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be starting. As a squad player, I get it. However, I don't see why we sold Fred in the first place. If you're going to sell McTominay, Van der Beek, then maybe I get it, and we sign a starting midfielder. But we signed Mount, we threw him in, and Ten Hag is making him play deeper. But even then, he's just not good enough to play for Manchester United. It's that simple.
That's what I'm saying. That's a damn. So were you not with the signing at all?
No.
I believe you. I know what you're like. I know you well enough to know you wouldn't have been going for that shit. Big up the chat, man like Zeno, big up to Saeed every single time.
Big up Saeed, man.
To his channel
big up.
as well.
So,
to MYFY. Yeah, go on.
Sorry,
go on.
what do you think of Mason Mount then? Because
it's an awful, horrible sign.
Yeah,
I said
horrible.
it from the jump. Horrible.
Yeah.
When we got linked to him, horrible. When we was making bids, horrible. When we signed him, horrible. Performances, horrible. Never gonna work. It never ever knew what it was never gonna be. Mount injured, if United improve right away, what's that say? Poor signing? Which we will, because even if we're not like amazing, it will be better just because of balance. So whether it's Ericsson, whether it's McTominay, whether it's Donny van der Beek, whoever the case may be, it will be better. It will be much better. Like for real. Because
the thing is,
simply because of balance. Yeah, go on, Zeno.
Yeah, sorry. I think our club, and we all know this, right? It's just run terribly. Like, I don't know if you remember, we were interested in Caicedo before for 5 million. We didn't sign him. Tchouaméni was there to partner Pogba, 25 million. We didn't sign him. Camavinga, 15 million. We didn't sign him. But guess who we signed? Mason Mount. Donny van der Beek. We let go of Fred. I don't know what everyone else's thoughts on Fred, but me personally, he's probably been, since he's come, one of our most, or our best big game players. Yes, he's had errors in crucial moments, but when it was a big game, Fred turned up. You can't tell me, Flawless, that if Fred started against Spurs, he would have done worse than Mason Mount. Never. Never.
The fact that that statement has truth to it is crazy. A player we all deem not good enough. And I don't
Exactly.
disagree with you.
Yeah, Fred was a squad player, but he did not deserve to go before Harry Maguire, before McTominay, before Donny van der Beek. What's going on? And I don't know what happened. What actually happened with the McTominay deal? Wasn't he meant to go to West Ham?
No, so we just rejected the bid, the McTominay deal. We rejected the bid. Yeah, that's on us.
Why?
That's on us. That is on us. Let me just get to a few things as well to the Dreamer, because some people are new here, so that's cool. So that's why I let these things slide. He says, "What? Rashford ain't been performing for years. We've been giving him a pass." Who's we? Because I wanted Rashford sold this time last season. You can go check ManDem United previously. There's a playlist for it. Any regulars will know. So just please don't ask and please don't assume. Just ask. Because there's no we. I didn't give Rashford a pass when he was performing poorly. I wanted him sold. I'm on record saying that on this very channel, on this very show actually. And any regulars will tell you that too. So please, like I said, don't assume people, ask. And don't use what other Manchester United fans have said against me or Zeno. Quote me for me. I gave an opinion, quote me. Don't say, oh, well, the fans say this. Fuck the fans. They don't know what they're talking about. Because if fans ran Manchester United, we'd be in League 2. Because fans don't know what, myself included. That's why you go get the best in class and don't get people who are emotionally attached.
Yeah, 100%.
Shikari says, question for Flawless. I hear you on Palestri. Would you be okay in playing someone like Palestri against lower sides? Here, the thing is with that. Again, Shikari, I'm cool with him getting his start. All I'm saying is, I just don't think he's the answer. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he's the answer. That's it. And he's gonna play against Forest. And if he's not 8, 9, 10 out of 10, he's gonna get criticised. If he plays 7, he'll get criticised unfairly, in my opinion. Because if he puts out a 7 out of 10 performance, that's good. And so salute to him if he does indeed do that. I'm not saying he don't deserve his start. I would play him. I'm just saying I've from what I've watched from Palestri, I don't think he's the answer. Same way I don't think Garnacho's the answer. I think they're both better off the bench because of the attributes they have. That's just me though. To Peter Pan, who says Mount is a great player and was key for Chelsea winning the Champions League. How does that help Manchester United in 2023? Is my point to that. He won the Champions League in what, 2021 was it? 2021? That don't help Manchester United, but we move. That don't move. But hey, you know what I'm saying? I will agree to disagree. Dreamer, you know then. If you said I've been here, I know you did. So don't say then he's been getting a pass. Like, aim that at the fans. You know that, you know what I'm saying, that if you're not new here, indeed the case. I was going off when you said we, aka the fans, been ruthless towards our forwards, but I get it. But a selection of the fan base has been very ruthless towards Rashford. It depends who you're listening to, who you're watching, who you're following on socials. Because I've seen as much Rashford prop I see him critique of Rashford as well. Even last season, which I think was unfair. Because last season, he was our only attacker who did anything of note. He was by himself. None of our attackers did shit. None of them even hit double figures in the Premier League. But here we are. To Peter Pan, who says Mount will get minimum 12 assists this season. What's his highest? He's got 8 open play assists in 4 years, but he's going to get 12 in one season. All right. Okay.
Maybe against us, leading to errors. Maybe.
Okay. Okay. All right. Faz. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Faz. Eddie, I agree with this. Says, man, the arguments we will make for mid players. Sometimes simply, these guys ain't good enough, and it's okay to say that. My thoughts exactly. It's okay to say that. It really legit is. Warrior J says, like what I said, Flawless keeps saying he hopes Mount proves him wrong, but look at those 2 games he played in right now. I'm not even shocked. But a guy who's got 8 open play assists, we got man in there saying he's going to get 12 in one season. He has 8 in 4 years. Open play. But he's going to get 12 in 1 year. Hey, that's our number 7.
Even preseason, he stunk it up, man.
So, yeah. So where do you stand, Zeno? Because we haven't spoken in a minute. So where do you stand on Manchester United, like right now? What would you like to see us do?
Where do we begin? Our club, first of all, is run poorly from the top, right? Everything surrounding the sale of the club as well, which was supposed to happen in the beginning of May or the end of May. We're still now in end of August, and apparently it's going to be mid-October now, but everything's just run poorly. But then we go on to Ten Hag right now. If we go on to the style of play, he's been here for a year now. You look at players like Ange with Tottenham, De Zerbi, Brighton, even Poch now with Chelsea. You can see they have this style of play. They have identity already in, a short amount of time. Yes, Chelsea have spent 1 billion or whatever. That's fine. But look at Brighton. They have limited resources. They have limited time. Erik ten Hag has had 2 pre-seasons. And we're still playing. I don't even know what the style of play we're going for. You buy Mason Mount to play him as a defensive player. It doesn't make sense. I don't know if he's choosing the signings. That's another issue. The one person we needed was Ralph Rangnick, and we let him go because he wasn't a yes man. If we kept him, different situation. He wanted Luis Diaz. He wanted Julian Alvarez, all for a combined 75 million. And our board said no. What does that tell you? And then he called them out. Yeah. He called them out and he got sacked. Yeah. So our main issue is coming from the top. But secondly, I expect more from Ten Hag. You need to be ruthless. This Maguire situation, if he doesn't want to go, put him in the reserves. I swear Jose did that with Schweinsteiger, didn't he? Put them in the reserves. What's the point of keeping him on the bench? We don't want him. We told him, there's the door. Go play football. That's what you want. If you don't want, chuck him in the reserves. Let him go.
No.
Right? We have Amrabat is there sitting 20 million. They dropped a bid. He's been left out of the squad. And we're not doing anything about it. 20 million. But you're going to buy Maguire for 80 million. You're going to buy Anthony for 90 million. Don't even get me started on Anthony.
Talk about it. No, let's get you started. Thoughts on Anthony, because like I said, me and Zeno haven't spoke. I think in like a year and a half. Yeah. So I don't actually know like your thoughts on like a lot that's gone on. Like a lot's changed. The manager, the entire spine of the team. So your thoughts on Anthony?
Look, I was gassed when we got him because finally we get that right winger who's a left-footed player, right? But seeing him in the first 3 games, I said that this guy is not going to do anything for United. And a lot of people said, I'm judging him too early. He needs 1 year to adapt. But sometimes, when you're experienced and, you have your own way of interpreting football, you can make a judgment after 3 games. Scouts go and watch players, and after 20 minutes, they can say, yeah, no, this guy's not going anywhere, or this guy's a professional. Do you know what I mean? With Anthony, I just knew instantly, one, he only has a left foot, right? Even with his only left foot, he can't even cross. He can't go out on the outside. He can't use his right foot. Cutting in and shooting, he's successful 1 every 30 shots. What's the point? He can't dribble. I know there's that video of him going online on Twitter where he's, faced with championship defenders. I watched him live against championship defenders. All he does is run at them, pass back. And he'll do that little shimmy, pass back, lose the ball. What's the point of having Anthony? And you were spot on with Pellistri. I 100% agree with what you said. He's not ready to start. He's a good impact player like Garnacho. Bring them off the bench, running at tired legs. And you see what he does. Pellistri hasn't had a bad game for United coming off the bench. Same with Garnacho. Garnacho coming off the bench is dangerous. And this is what's going to happen. We saw Garnacho coming off the bench. He's doing damage against tired legs, gave him his starts, and look, he's crumbling. First 2 games, he's been dreadful. Against Wolves, one of the worst performances in a United shirt. And I think that would be Pellistri if we had to throw him in the starting lineup. However, I think Ten Hag has to do it because he needs to make a statement. And for me, Ten Hag isn't as ruthless as people think he is. If you're ruthless, chuck Maguire to reserves. Get Anthony out. Put Pellistri there. Even if he's not going to play well, you need to show these players, if you're not playing well, you're going to be replaced. We're Man United. We're Manchester United. They're forgetting
Sorry,
this.
I love that line, man. We're Man United.
We're Man United. I'm pretty sure Saeed said that a lot. It's ringing in my head, isn't it?
That's a proper man thing, isn't it? We're Man United. Like, that's legit what it is. Yeah. No, I get
But
what
do
you're
you know what I
saying.
mean? This guy isn't ruthless, and I just think he needs to be. He needs to be ruthless. And I saw Ajax fans commenting on this. They said Ten Hag is very stubborn with his starting 11. Once he finds that 11, he won't change them. And it happened. We saw it last season. We're playing a game every 3 days, and he's still playing the same 11. We turned up to Anfield away with Wout Weghorst as number 10.
I forgot that game. I took that game. I stripped that
Yeah,
game from my memory, so I can't
he
even
put
remember who played him.
he
I'm not
put
gonna lie.
Weghorst 10. He put Bruno left wing when Trent was at the worst period of form, and you put Bruno with 0 dribble package to go against Trent when Rashford is at the peak of his powers. Bruno has no dribble package, and you put Rashford centre forward. Wout Weghorst number 10 at Anfield away.
Yeah, that's
We
wild.
lose 7-0 to our biggest rivals. Man
Yeah, that's wild.
City Man City dunked on us, won the treble on our head at the FA Cup. We didn't do anything about it. And guess what? They go and have a better window than us. Got rid of them. Well, they got rid of Mahrez, probably the best
I'd say they
winger.
have a better, but yeah, like City.
Got 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 rid of Laporte, then already replaced him.
Yeah, with
And
value.
what do we
Yes.
do? We give Mason Mount number 7 to challenge.
Before we continue, gotta bring my overdone in. I said we had 2 special guests, been on the channel before, doing great work on his own channel as well. And I do want to hear his thoughts because we haven't spoken in, I don't think, since the start of the season. So I welcome regulars of Sarcasm City will know, man. Man like Rhino is in the building. Yes, Rhino, what are you telling me, man? You good?
Yes, man. What are you telling me, man?
Oh,
Apologies, man.
that's cool, man. No stress, man. You know what I'm saying? These things happen. It's
Apologies.
all good. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
Rhino meets Zeno, Rhino. You know what I'm saying? You
As
about
Yo,
you
me
know,
what's
now.
up?
big up, man. And
Yeah.
thanks for all the thanks for having me as always, man.
Yeah, man, you already know, man. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we're all United fans, so we all in the same jail cell. You know what I'm saying? We all in the same jail and that,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we all in jail. But yeah, we'll start with Mason Mount. We'll start with Mason Mount's injury, Rhino. Thoughts on his injury before we get into actual performances.
Funny enough, I was saying in one of my group chats that it's you don't want to call it injury a blessing, but it could be a blessing
That's a
in
blessing.
disguise.
Nah, it's a
That's
blessing.
fine.
It's a blessing. It's
You
a
don't want to
blessing.
wish
know,
injury on people, but you
on
can say it's
people,
a
yeah,
blessing. That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so obviously in regards to that, this will force Ten Hag to kind of, rebalance this midfield. So I'm quite it's gonna sound wrong. I'm quite pleased that there's something that's forced his hand. Because You know what it was? When Mount was these first 2 games, I've tried my best not to judge him. I've said, you know what? He's just coming to a team that's realistically, we've had 1 year, but he's still new to the team. He has to get used to the style and everything, even if you want to say we have a style. But then when you actually look at how he plays, it's very, very bad. Yes, he's part of a team that's playing bad as well, but you expect to see a little something. I know here and there he's done a couple, like he's got the ball up high up the pitch and made a good pass and whatever, but I at least if I could see that throughout the whole game, I could say there's something, you know what I'm saying? But more time, he's ghosted. I don't even know if we might as well play with 10 men sometimes. I don't see what he does. I'm trying to be a bit more patient. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Mount, but
you're a nice
it
guy,
is
man.
what it is.
See,
yeah,
man,
it is what it is.
You're a pleasant human being, fam. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
saying?
trying. You know what I mean?
Gentleman-esque. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not. It's not. Sorry, it's not playing with 10 men. We're playing against 12 men. He's playing against us. Simple.
Word to Benzema, yeah? He's playing against us. It
But,
is. And, yeah, go on, fam. Go on.
Yeah, so I feel like there is things that I can see he does off the ball. Don't get it twisted, but for me, it's just not enough. But in his defense, most of the team is not playing well. So he kind of, I kind of don't want to give him too much slate. But yeah, he's out of the team now. So Bruno will be a 10. It looks like we're going to put Ericsson there maybe, because who else can we put there realistically? We don't have Fred no more.
Ericsson
or
or
McTominay.
It'll be one of those two we play.
We're playing Forest. We can pick any of the two. Ericsson or McTominay should be decent enough. I wish we kept Fred. I would have rather kept Fred and then got rid of McTominay.
Exactly.
I said it from the start. Let's keep Fred, get rid of McTominay. But I think maybe Fred in his heart, he wanted to leave. Fred just wanted to go and start somewhere else. So, yeah, hopefully we see an improvement. But for me, what I was saying yesterday on Saeed's show, I think what is letting us down is the fight and the effort. The team don't look ready yet. They don't look fit. They don't look hungry. They don't look like they're bothered. So I think if we can fix that first and we can start to see a bit of fight and effort, then at least we can start solely blaming it on the system. Because realistically, even with Mount, even with Bruno and Casemiro, if everyone's playing their position and people are covering the gaps, like for example, if Casemiro's up deep and then maybe Bruno comes back or vice versa, Mount comes back or Shaw steps in or whatever, if the team are rotating and filling each other's spaces, we should be okay, realistically, with the quality that we have. So that's my thing, innit? I feel like mentally the team are not there yet. They don't seem fit. They don't seem bothered. So that's my main issue before I even think about the system still.
And we'll get into that in a second. Before we continue, there's over 190 people in the building. Let's bump up the likes, though. Only at 85 likes. Let's get up to 100 likes, people. Let's get up to 100 likes. Make sure you share this across all the socials as well, please. And subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV, as well. And when you subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure you subscribe to Rhino's channel. Warrior J's just dropped the link in the chat. I will add it to the title as well. Make sure you follow Zeno on TikTok as well. I'm sure Zeno will drop. That's what Zeno's on. That's all he care about is TikTok. So make sure you follow him over there on TikTok as well. Big up to J Socials for the super chat, who says, not confident about the Forest game. They haven't played badly and Alanga coming for revenge. Mount injury means the same team as last season. Poor window. In regards to it not being confident about the Forest game, Jay, big up for the super chat as well. I fully understand not being confident about the Forest game. They haven't. I didn't watch them in their second game, but I did watch them against Arsenal, and they were decent. They weren't bad against Forest. Malanga was good in that game coming off the bench. In regards to the Mount injury, it is a blessing. I don't wish injury on anybody. Don't get it mistaken, people. Never wish physical harm on anybody. However, it now has forced Ten Hag to change that midfield, and it is going to be more balanced. Whether that's Ericsson, whether that's McTominay, whether that's Donny van der Beek, the midfield overall is going to look better, which helps us. So I hope he changes the front three as well. Ryan, I'll go to you. What are you saying? You confident about the Forest game?
Yeah, we have to, man.
I just said we have to.
Like, we have. This is.
He's not confident. He's not confident.
Like,
you know the
in my
funniest shit
heart,
is, everyone responds like that when they go, yo, you must. We have to.
to.
But,
Like, but technically, like, you say, what did you say? Sorry, what's your name again?
Zeno.
Zeno, yeah.
Yeah, Zeno.
Just
Rhino,
like Zeno
Zeno.
said.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't really answered the question. I've just said we have to, so he's right. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, like, come on, it's Forest respectfully. The quality of the team that we do have, even on a bad day, we should be beating Forest. You know what I'm saying? But then we've seen a worse side of our team when we played Wolves. We've seen a shocking side to them. So, but Wolves is a bogey team as well. But we have to beat Forest, even if it's a good 2-0 win and 3-1 maybe, because this midfield, we can't trust it. We have to. But like I said to you guys, I feel like the problem is the mentality. The ManDem need to be hungry. I need to see Rashford trying to win. I know he doesn't want to play in the centre, but at least play. You're not going to be there forever. Højlund's coming in. So at least fight for the manager. Maybe there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Maybe there's I don't want to blame like Greenwood and all the other stuff, but maybe the thought of Greenwood coming back maybe made their heads drop. Now he's gone. We might see a bit of light. I don't know. As a fan right now, I'm just searching for answers. You feel me?
I can see that you searching, man. I respect it, man.
I'm searching.
You
But
searching,
yeah,
man.
we should, man. We should. As long as the players at least play to a basic standard, we should beat Forest. But are they going to? If you ask me now, based on our last 2 games, if I want to base it on that, it is quite worrying, even for Forest. You get me? But yeah.
Zeno, what you saying? Confident for the Forest game?
No, not confident at all whatsoever. But the thing is, it depends again on the lineup he goes for. And like Rhino said, there has to be the passion there. I know we're not passion merchants and whatnot, but one thing as a footballer for Man United is you can't let the opposition outrun you, outwork you, and you have to get the challenges, you have to get there first, win the 50-50s, get the first ball, second ball, be active. No one's there, no one wants to play, no one wants to win the ball. And we saw this last season, first 2 games, we got absolutely smashed. And there was that turnaround against Liverpool. I'm not confident, but if this changes, if they just show that, we're here, we're ready to turn up again, all of the issues upstairs, we put that behind us, let's go now, then we can be positive coming forward. We have Arsenal next week, and I personally hate Arsenal and their fans so much, and I do not want to lose to them, and it's going to be a very rough week on social media if we lose. But we need to go into there confident. If we don't dominate this game, let alone win, 3 points is going to mean nothing, because we need to make a statement now for our mentality and also for everyone else, not to think that we're just going to get run through. I'm not confident, but it's on Ten Hag to be ruthlessness, choose the right lineup, but I don't have faith that he's going to.
First, no, I hear that. Jay, big up for the super chat. Of course, to everyone watching, if you super chat, we will get straight to your comment question. And I will start the better questions, but if I missed them, I apologize. There's a lot of people in here, obviously Rhino and Zeno on as well. But in regards to for some reason, Jay, I think we will put in a performance, and more so, that's because of the Mount injury. As soon as Mount got injured, I was like, all right, we'll do better against Forest. Like, legit, like, that was my thought process. Because I'm like, he's going to pick the same team and we're going to look horrible. Because I had convinced myself, and I thought firmly, he's not going to pick the same team against Spurs. I thought there's no chance. We play like that against Wolves and he picks the same team and same 11, and he did. I was like, oh, shit. And I believe fully he was going to do the same at home to Forest. So with the Mount injury, I look at it and go, all right, that's going to force his hand. Maybe he changes the front three. We shouldn't go with the same front three. However, if we do, I wouldn't be surprised.
But
and
you
if
know,
we
it
don't
is
win,
flawless,
that's on the manager.
yeah?
Go
Sorry
on.
to cut you off, yeah?
Nah, that's cool, man. Go
I
on.
feel like cool. Like, let me make this clear before anyone in the chat comes and starts capping, yeah? I'm not protecting Ten Hag. I'm not protecting nobody. I'm just saying it as I see it. I think Ten Hag is seeing what I see. Not to say that I'm like some mad coach, but he's seen that the same 11 are not playing to they're not following his standard principles. Let me put them back on and let me see if they work. In this case, they didn't work. It's the same as the last situation that happened when we had the first 11 that didn't play and he played them again and they improved. So I think Ten Hag wants to just see the mentality and the standard principles in play. Because like I said, realistically, this 11 should beat a lot of sides. Like, realistically. But obviously, if we have to boil down to the tactics and balance and whatever, it is in balance. But like I said, they're not... I don't know if you lot agree. Can't you see these man, except for maybe Wan-Bissaka or Nana, and maybe who else? I can't even think of who else. They don't seem on it. They don't seem up for it. Like,
again, them not being on it and up for it, and I hear you, it's just skill level. Somebody said it earlier on in the chat. I've said it. These players are just not good. Like, that's just simply what it is. We can give various reasons and come up with thought and yeah, we can give various reasons and think about it and like, all right, maybe how do we get more out of players, which I think you can. But overall, they're just not it. Because we all want new in the ideal world. Before I even ask either of you, man, all right, how many players would you sign in the ideal world? Man, I say minimum
Great
4.
question.
Man,
Yeah,
I say
five,
minimum 4
six.
for the
Yeah,
11. I'm
yeah.
saying
Probably more.
5. You're
Yeah.
saying 5, 6. That's half a. That's
Yeah.
half a team. That's how far away we are from where we want to be. That we're both saying, Zeno, you said 5, 6. That's more than half the team.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I know 3 of them are Varane, Martinez, Casemiro. So you're saying gut the team, like blow it all up and start again type of thing. And that's legit where we're at. But again, it's not a surprise when you look at the team we have. And I keep saying this, we added Mason Mount. And it didn't work.
But
What
even
a
if you're not
surprise.
good, right, the
on.
least you can expect is for them to give everything for the badge. That's the
it.
least. That's number
it.
one.
Minimum.
Do you know a game is 90
Facts.
minutes? How often or what do you think the average is of everyone on the ball? Like everyone's time on the ball. Average is like 2 minutes depending on the player you are. That means for 88 minutes you don't have the ball with you. You have to run.
Yeah, true.
Trust me.
That's
do
football.
have to
The for Man United as well, the minimum, please put in that effort.
That's it. That's
We
all
back-
I'm
we
asking
back-
for, man.
Yeah, we back to
Literally,
last
bro.
season asking athletes to run.
Yep.
That's how far we are.
He
We're
needs to
asking
take them on a
professional
run
athletes
again.
to
He needs to
run.
take them on a little jog, bro.
He's
Do
saying
double
take them
this
on a
time.
jog.
Maybe I don't know why even this season he hasn't really counted their running stats, and that's what
Yeah.
another thing I can blame on him. I feel like he's been ruthless, but there's something missing about him. It's 2 games, cool, but there's something missing about how he was in the first season when he came in and he said, "Bro, you lot pattern up." I feel like he's lost a bit of that. But
But-
again, we don't know what's happening. I don't know, man.
I don't think he's ruthless though. Like, why would you say he's ruthless?
I think in terms of what he's had to handle, because I think we do forget how bad this club was. In terms of just the Ronaldo situations, him benching Rashford when he's late, Garnacho not starting straight away because he thinks he's too big for the team and all of that. All of these things show me that, putting Maguire at the back of the line, because Solskjaer and Ranić weren't going to do that. They weren't going to put Maguire on the bench. They were scared. They were thinking we can't bench the captain, so things like that. Because I think at Man United, we've had this big problem of player power, especially English players. English players in our club don't get the slander that
Yeah, no.
that the foreign players get. They get
100%.
protected a lot by the media and all of that stuff as well. So I think in that regards, there's a lot of things that Ten Hag has done, but yeah, man.
Yeah, but okay, he dropped Maguire, but you come to this season, why hasn't he dropped Shaw?
Yeah. When he's playing bad. Or Bruno.
Exactly.
Bruno,
Bruno, Mason Mount, Rashford, Anthony.
Mount's just a mistake.
There you
That's
go.
what it is.
Yeah.
Mount is just a mistake. It would have been interesting to see if Malacia was fit, if he would have played Shaw or not. Would have been. It would have been very interesting. But I think he has been ruthless in regards to, like, initially, like the whole Spanish thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of the players, maybe bar Luke Shaw, that we didn't want to see in the starting lineup anymore, we don't see in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
So De Gea, Maguire, Lindelof, McTominay, Fred. That's pretty much the spine.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can add Bruno into that mix. Cool. But even Bruno, he shifted like out wide,
Yeah.
right, at points last season as well. So it's Bruno. So he's done well in that sense in terms of turning the club around in that sense. But you still need to be even more ruthless. Like, you can't
Yeah.
stop. Like someone just mentioned, Shakar mentioned, the way he dealt with the Ronaldo situation, the way he dealt with the whole Maguire situation. Like I said, moving on De Gea as well. I like those things. They're in the plus column. But we still need to, because we were so far behind, we still got to bridge the gap. We still got levels to go up. Just because we've gone from poor to average, all right, average is still not good enough. We still need to be above average. We're looking to be elite. And he needs to move like that. With Mason Mount, I just think he's made a mistake. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I think he just
I
made a
think-
mistake with the signing. Yeah, go on, Vito.
I think he's still a bit passive though, because
Go on.
for a left back, why wouldn't you give Alvaro Fernandez a start? I know he's not ready, but you need to throw them in there. That's how that's how you see if they can handle it, if they can swim in deep waters. Throw them in the deep end to find out. Same with Rashford. Rashford wasn't the best, or do you know what I mean? As an academy player, he wasn't one of the best talents. He got thrown in there, and he took his chance, and he did well in his first few seasons. Throw Alvaro Fernandez in there, not only, because of his level, right? It's there to make Luke Shaw step up. What's happened to Luke Shaw when he's had his best periods playing football? When we got Tellers, he stepped up. Last season, he dropped him, played Malacia against Liverpool. Then Luke Shaw turned up. So drop him again. Same Brandon Williams when he broke through. Luke Shaw ended up turning up again. Do the same thing.
Yeah. Malacia's injured, isn't it?
Yeah,
Malacia
I
is
don't know
out,
for how
yeah.
long though.
So let's put someone in. That's what I'm saying. That I agree with you, bro. Like, let's just take these players out. Anthony, just pull him. Pull him.
take him
Like,
out.
you know what I'm saying? Pull him, bro. Like, you get me? So it's frustrating as a Man United fan at this current period. Yes, it is 2 games in, and yes, we're just analysing what we see, but it's not promising, man. It's not promising. And the main thing I think we can all agree on is because it's his second season. The pressure's on now. There's no excuses. And yes, you did overachieve, and yes, you did do a lot of things. And I know people like to move the goalposts. Oh, you guys got money, but then they predicted us to come 6th. So 1 minute they say, oh, we're gonna come 6th, 7th, but then they say, oh, but you guys got a lot of money. So the rivals are always gonna move the goalposts. But you know, the pressure's on, and we'll see, man. It would be nice that if he was stubborn and then something pulled out from it, like he proved us all wrong. I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love us
obviously,
to look stupid. I would love it because, you know, it means that our manager's doing good things. But I think another key thing we need to factor in is this director of football. Because I'm not going to lie, I didn't even take it as serious as I thought. Obviously, in regards to having someone like Rangnick would have been perfect.
Yeah,
a lot of
100%.
ballers now Rangnick saw from early. But my thing is, the reason why I said I didn't take it seriously before is that I didn't realize, for some reason, I just used to think that the manager kind of still has the overall say. But then I've heard that like sometimes it has to be like a mutual thing, and sometimes you have to follow the DOF. You know what I mean? So I get that he hasn't got that balance to tell him, bro, you know what? I know you like Mount, but sorry, let's not go for him. Here's a better profile. So he is missing that support as well. And now, I don't know if you guys watched the Ajax, We Talk Ajax on Saeed's show. They gave a lot of insight onto Ten Hag because they've had him for years. And they said, look, with a DOF, it's way better. All the top managers have a DOF, you know.
You need a DOF, and that's on Manchester United structure. Yeah, that's on Manchester United structure. And we've known this, whatever manager it is, he needs help. Because you can't just put that all on him. He needs additional help because there may be a player who suits what he's doing that he just doesn't know.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's why you have a scouting department. That's what their work to do is. Like I said, my biggest issue with the Mount signing is it shouldn't have been names. It should be profiles, right? I need an 8 that does this, and this, and this. And then the scouting department gives them a list. And then you look at ages, you look at injury records, you look at leagues they've played in, etc., etc. And then you pick the best one, depending on what your budget is. And then that's how it should be. All right, so these are the lists. I got a list of 6 8s. They all do this, and this that you need. And then you pick through. It shouldn't be named. Okay, just get me Mason Mount, or just get me Anthony, or just get me Malacia or Martinez. Reason why I use the latter two is to say whether the signing goes right or wrong is not the point I'm making. I'm just saying the process should be better. That's legit what it is. But we know Manchester United and process and moving correctly don't go hand in hand. That's why we've been bad for a decade. It is. And just quickly to ITN who says lay off Mount. He's allowed to get injuries. He's been made the scapegoat. No one's saying he's not allowed to get injuries. No one didn't say he's not allowed.
Please,
to get
by
injuries.
all means.
Yeah, no one said he's not allowed to. And how's he being made the scapegoat when he's performed poorly?
I put a disclaimer, you know. I told you guys don't cap when I'm about to say what I'm going to say. You guys are starting to cap.
Well, like, that's what it is, because it's from earlier as well. And in regards to him being made the scapegoat, no, he's performed poorly. So therefore, he's been
it's really bad,
criticized.
man.
Because if he performed well in those 2 games, we'd be sat here praising him. Myself, Rhino, and Zeno, and the chat would be out here praising him and saying, yo, Mount's played well in these first 2 games. You can't have it both ways. It can't be a player plays well and you praise him, and then a player plays poorly and there's no criticism.
I'm guilty of that sometimes as well, probably.
You can't do that. Like, we can't do that. Man had 14 passes in. He had 14 passes in 84 minutes. That's not on me. That's not on Zeno. That's not on Rhino. That's on him. Playing central midfield for Manchester United in a Premier League game. And you had 14 passes in 84 minutes.
That's
you had 24 touches. If that was Scott McTominay, we would butcher him. We would absolutely annihilate him for that type of, because he's done that type of thing. So why not the same for Mount, who's cost money, who's got the number 7 shirt? But again, people just have their preferences. It's like, no, everyone can get critiqued. I'm not saying he can't turn it around if he comes back after this injury. And I say injury in quotation marks because I don't know the likelihood of this injury. But if he is indeed not injured, it's a smart move. take him out of the firing line. So definitely a smart move.
And Ten Hag's kind of done that before. And to answer this question quickly, Flores.
Yeah, get to it. Any
someone's
questions,
saying DOF or no DOF, any top level manager shouldn't be buying Mount. Listen, some managers see things that we don't see. You know, like Maguire. We all laugh at Maguire, but Pep wanted Maguire. He just didn't want to pay that price. So, you know what I'm saying, then what? And I know we don't always want to compare to Pep, but sometimes we have to. Pep is very good with his talent ID and his team and his structure and his scouting and stuff. So if Pep can want someone like Maguire, maybe Maguire might have developed better. Who knows? We can argue that. But I'm just saying, like, we can't just say that any top level manager wouldn't have bought Mount. Managers believe in what they believe in. You feel me?
And to this, the Sony 95 who says any top level manager shouldn't be buying Mount. I do agree with that, but every top level manager makes mistakes. I keep saying
as well. That's true. He's just
made a mistake. That's all it is. Now you have to limit your mistakes, and you can't have misses. But he's made mistakes. Even Pep, who everyone praises,
very true,
one of the best managers, has made mistakes. Not every signing for Manchester City has hit. He signed Calvin Phillips. He signed Sergio Gomez. He signed Nolito. He signed Claudio Bravo. He signed Ferran Torres. The list goes on. But the thing is with him, the majority of his signings hit. Probably 90 to 95%. You need a high success rate. I've said this before, I'll say this again. I don't have too many issues with Ten Hag signings. Minus Anthony, minus Mount. I think there's 9 we've made in total. 7 out of 9 I don't have no issue with, which is a great conversion rate. If you tell me every 9 players we sign, 7 of them are going to hit or be at least in the green and be in the plus column and be a positive, I'd take that. 7 from now, if it was 2 from 9, that's a whole different conversation. But 7 from that, you're going to miss. This ain't FIFA. This ain't Football Manager. Managers are going to make mistakes. Whoever your GOAT manager is right now has made mistakes in the transfer market. Whoever your GOAT manager, if he's retired, doesn't matter if it's Pep, if it's Ten Hag, if it's Arteta, just sign Havertz. What are we talking about? Don't matter if it's Fergie, doesn't matter if it's Ancelotti, Wenger, the list goes on. All of these managers have signed players who just didn't hit. And Mount, I do agree with you. You shouldn't have signed Mount. Awful signing. It really, really was. And Koala J says Mount was part of the chances we created. What chances? You'd have to clarify to me on that. What chances? What chances did we create? Because I watched us against Wolves and we didn't create nothing. Against Spurs, we created a little bit more. But hey, we move. Like I said, this whole thing, Manchester United created a lot of chances and all we needed was a striker was a myth. The game against Wolves happened a lot last season. But people just put on red-tinted glasses and act like it didn't happen. And that Weghorst and Martial and Rashford and Garnacho and Anthony were missing all these chances. No, that wasn't the case. There was many games where we created nothing. For every Spurs game this season, there was a Wolves game like that. There was 3 or 4 of those where we had 1 shot on target, 2 shots on target. And don't get mistaken, people, we had enough of the ball against Wolves. We had more possession. We had 51% of the ball. We just didn't create nothing. You know why? Because these players ain't very creative. Because we scored, like I keep saying, 58 league goals last season. And all we've added is Mason Mount. And people expected things to change. Why? This is the question I keep asking. Why? I've been saying all summer long, who's creating for us? Who's scoring goals? When people are like, why flawless? Why don't you think we can challenge? Why can't we win the league? Why can't we do this, that, and the third? Because we don't score enough goals.
100%. Yeah. If the thing is though, if we're gonna play devil's advocate as well, players coming into United in recent time, it's not easy. Name a player we've bought that we've sold for more and made a profit. Dan James is the only one. Funny enough, we bought him for 15, sold him for 30. Everyone else, we bought players and who's left better than what they were when they came.
Yeah.
We damage players. Like, you look at Sancho, he comes into, one of our worst periods. That was our worst defensive record of all time, all-time history. We got Sancho in, right? You look at Pogba, we bring Pogba in. Look at who we build the team around when you get a player like Pogba. No player has come to United in the last 10 years and has left better than what they were. They'll go on to win trophies, that's it. But we just damage and we destroy talent. I don't know where that comes from because we have different managers and the same thing has been happening. So I don't know. I think we just have to scrap everyone and start again. But like you said, again, with the transfers, where are the scouts? Or why are we not buying these players?
The ownership, Zeno, man.
Yeah.
It's the ownership, man. That's the only consistent thing throughout all
That's
the managers.
true. Yeah,
ownership.
You're right. Hopefully it gets done by mid-October. I saw something.
I swear
But
to you, I listen. Hey,
we
bro,
needed it before the transfer window closing, man.
before 100%, and it's sad, man. Like, but all giants fall and all giants can come back up. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the reality of. And what I hate the most as well is when rival. You know what's funny? I think I was watching Football Terrace, yeah, and I went back to some the reaction of the Chelsea game when Chelsea lost to West Ham. And I was literally watching all of them just talk about, oh, you guys shouldn't talk about the money we've spent. I said, rah, okay, so you guys are feeling what we feel now, you know? So it's just funny how when people go through certain situations themselves, they now understand what a rival fan goes through. I guess that's football, innit? In some way, we're all hypocrites and we like to have a bit of banter.
Oh, yeah, of course we are hypocrites. Yeah,
you get me,
to run jokes. Of course.
Yeah.
I love running jokes about Chelsea. I love it. I'm saying, I love running bands.
Now they're talking about, look, Mudryk, like, what can we argue and say that Anthony's done better than Mudryk realistically?
Hey, we all got the same amount of Premier League goals as Mudryk on this panel. You know what I'm saying? So until that changes, you know what I'm saying?
You know what they're gonna say? Oh, but you lot have got a coach and we didn't have a coach. So okay, let's see how he does. You know, Mudryk's a talented player, but you know, the stick that people like Anthony get. I'm not even sticking up for Anthony, but I'm just saying people need to look at their own team sometimes as well, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's just legit what it is, and it is jokes and bants. Because even with Chelsea, I say all the time, I'm like, you lot spent this money, good manager in Poch, good defensively, Caicedo, Lavia, great. You man ain't got no goals. You're us. You're a better version of us.
Yeah, you did.
And before you signed Caicedo and Lavia, I said you're us but worse because at least we have Rashford. Like, but they don't score goals, and now all of a sudden when you watch their games, Enzo missed the penalty, but who's scoring goals for them? I'm saying they was hyping up Nicholas Jackson like he was the new Drogba. I'm saying Nick Jackson, Mudryk, obviously Chukwuemeka just got injured. Sterling did look good against West Ham, but where are your goals coming from? People forget that goals win games.
There's potential there, but there's no goals, man.
Yeah, like where your goals coming from? Like if you lot could add goals, different conversation. But yeah, that's it. And to Sony, I hear you, as he says. You can make mistakes with transfers, that's fair, but the circumstances around it make it worse. Coming off a poor season and you push for him at 60 million is unacceptable in my opinion. Agree. Horrible signing. And that's on the manager and everybody involved. Yeah, that's horrible. I agree with this 110%. It's awful. But people was for this. That's why I don't want to hear it from the vast majority of the fan base. Because the vast majority of the fan base backed it.
Yeah.
It was backing the manager blindly. Now it goes wrong. It's, the manager's made a mistake. Nah, stay on the boat. Stay on the boat. I'm saying don't just jump off at the first, because let him play well, and everybody gonna prop out the woodwork. See this, and he's gonna play well. Law of averages, he's gonna score against somebody and put in a good performance, get a goal, get a brace or a goal and assist, 100%. And it's like, see it. Like we've seen it with Bruno, and he's a worse version of him to me. But hey, we move. It is to Alicia who says, wow, realizing Mount might actually be finished is sad as a Chelsea fan. He had so much potential. That first season under Lampsman was on something, and now he's our problem.
Yeah, they've just shifted.
Now he's our fucking problem. It's ridiculous. Before we continue, people, continue to get your questions in. Please keep them Manchester United related. Hit the likes. We have gone over 100 likes, so big up to you lot. Like check 1212. Let's get up to 120 likes, people. Continue to share this across our socials. Follow at Sarcasm City TV and subscribe to the channel as well. We're at road to 8,000 subscribers. We're at 7,787. 3 more, man. Only asking for 3 subscribers. Get us to 7,790. Because I know there's at least 3 people right now who haven't subscribed. Make sure you subscribe to Rhino's channel. The link's in the title, people. Rhino MGTV. So click the link in the title, opens up a new tab. And make sure you follow Zeno on TikTok as well. Make sure you do so. And don't forget we're on Kick, people. So all of the Twitch, for those that don't know, all of the Sarcasm City TV Twitch content will be over on Kick from next Friday, the 1st of September. So from the 1st of next month. So all your watch-alongs, fan calling shows, NBA content, boxing, F1, NFL, all of that Twitch content will be over on the Kick. The link for the Kick is underneath in the description. It's Sarcasm City TV. You just download the app for free like you would YouTube or Twitch, and then you just follow the Kick. So yeah, man, go make sure you hit the follow over there. I'll drop the link in the chat as well. But Zeno, we'll go to you. Amrabat, thoughts on him? What are we saying?
I think he's quality. Watched him, a lot in the World Cup, and I think he's a player that we need to get. And it's not even like he's going to cost us a fortune. Like, 20 million, guys. Come on, we need to sign him. I don't think he's gonna like. Yeah, I don't think anything changes that much if we sign him because again,
Really?
our main issues are front line, right? He's not gonna help us with getting
I
goals
think it's
really.
both, but carry on.
Yeah, no, 100% you're right. We get him. That's a good step, but still our defense is an issue. If Martinez gets injured, then we're screwed. But we can't just rely on one player, Amrabat, because when you sign him with the expectations now, we're going to expect him to change everything with the club. And that's how the fan base is. We need to make 3 signings, and 3 signings still isn't good enough. Amrabat, quality player, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I don't understand why we haven't got him. Apparently, we need to offload McTominay and Van de Beek, which I don't really get. So I'm not going to get gassed because you know what it's like. We're just interested in a lot of players, but we do nothing about it. And like I said, I don't understand why we're not going for him. I'm surprised no one else has snatched him. I'm surprised Liverpool didn't go for him, but he's quality, man. He's quality, and we need him in our team.
Well, that's
Simple
fair.
as.
So you're saying, so you mentioned that obviously it's not just him, but obviously he would be an improvement. What would you do
Yeah.
with the forward line? Because obviously we got Hoyland to come back. Well, Hoyland to actually not even come back, Hoyland to actually start. So where are you at with that? Because he could improve us.
Front line, I think we stick with Sancho until Hoyland comes. Sancho number 9, false 9. He was our best. He was Ryan. I think
On
you
that.
muted. Yeah,
Yes,
he was our
yeah,
best
on
player. He was our best player pre-season. Yes or no? I don't know.
Yeah.
That my opinion. He was our
Yeah,
best
I
player
agree.
pre-season. Dunked on Arsenal. He was doing good, getting the ball, and Sancho, like I said, he's a different player. He's not. One thing I don't like about him is he's not selfish enough. He has a good shot in him. Don't you remember against Spurs last season? Took the ball, cut and shoot,
Clinical.
bang, scored.
Yeah.
He can shoot, he can score. He has a good shot. I don't know why he doesn't do that. And also, the Bundesliga put a compilation of Sancho, and he's half or even a quarter of the player he was. I just don't understand why. But play him false 9. Rashford, you have to play him left wing and right wing Pelestri. Not because I want to, but again, it's because I'd rather have him over Anthony. Simple. When Hoyland comes back in, then put Sancho right wing, Hoyland 9. But I think again now we're relying on a 21-year-old who's recovering from a back injury to save our season.
True. Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
I don't know. Are you guys expecting him to come in and hit the ground running in this team, in this dressing room, current circumstance?
Yeah, to me, it's not about getting in the side and hit the ground running. It's just be a foil for us because we didn't have no striker up top. So I'm just
Yeah.
expecting him to just be a striker. I'm saying just operate like that's
Flawless,
the bars
knowing
on the
our
floor.
luck,
Just
you lot,
operate as a
knowing
9. Yeah,
our
go on.
luck, yeah. He would
Go
just
on.
come in and then we're gonna start doing that whole football where we don't start crossing and we've got a number 9 that we're not gonna knowing our luck, that's what's gonna happen.
But
We're
look,
finally
we
gonna
had-
have a striker and we're not gonna cross the ball.
We had
something.
Ronaldo, the best header of the ball in
And we weren't crossing
football
the ball,
history.
innit?
Jesus.
So that's what to carry on from that. Sorry to cut you off, man.
No,
But
no,
I
no,
feel
go
like Rashford being in the middle, I feel like Ten Hag is probably forcing that structure so that we can at least get used to like Hoyland just kind of
Yeah.
integrating in smoothly. But the whole problem is, like I said, I'll go back to it. I don't know if people are going to get annoyed with this word. The mindset of these players are not there. Rashford is clearly showing that I don't want to play in the middle, so I'm going to throw my toys at the pram. And it'll be nice if he could try, because against
Yeah.
Arsenal, he's played down the middle. There's a couple teams he's played down the middle,
He did.
and he
Even
can
against
do
Spurs,
okay.
I think, yeah, he can do okay. He can do a job.
You know what I mean?
That's
But
what
he
it is,
doesn't
yeah.
want to do it. That's the problem. You could just
Yeah.
tell. He's saying, I don't want to be here. I wish he could just try. You're on a new wage as well. You're one of our poster boys. Just work for the team. Do it for the team. But
Facts. Put in the
that's what it
shit.
is, guys, man.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
with you on
Mank
that.
born and bred, been in the academy for how long, and you're not giving your all. Like, what's going on? You're playing like that's everyone's dream. Anyone had a chance to play for United, they wouldn't
Facts.
let it go like what he's doing. Come on, run,
Facts.
put in the
Just
effort against City in the FA Cup final. At our awards night or whatever you call it before, he's saying, yeah, we still have City left, but on the day he wasn't running. He saw Rodri in front of him control the ball. I think and he did nothing. The ball's coming in the air. 5 seconds, he's looking at the ball. He didn't do anything. Didn't track back.
Nothing.
Didn't chase them down in an FA Cup final to stop to stop Man City, your rivals, City rivals, winning the treble.
Yep.
That's our accomplishment. No other team has done it. You don't want them to have that on you, but he watched it and he let them do that in front of him. And the funny thing is, when he was playing left wing, he made a comment saying he wants to play down the middle. Now he's switching it up, saying he wants to play back on the left. Make up your
Put him
mind.
on the left. Put him on the goddamn left. That's what needs to happen. Put that man
Put him on the
left.
bench.
Apparently,
man.
ManDem, I don't know if you guys heard. I don't know if it's true. 'Cause I think it's from the Sun when I looked at the source. But
I know what you're
apparently,
gonna
we're trying to hijack some winger to replace the fact that Greenwood is not going to be in the team.
Oh,
Some
I thought he was going to
Brazilian
go
guy.
with the ownership when you said that. Yeah, let us know in the chat. So what is it? A Brazilian
Yeah.
winger? And it's the
Yeah,
reports
some
is from the
Brazilian
Sun.
winger, yeah,
Somebody in the
yeah.
comment section, let us know about that if you've indeed heard
Apparently,
about that.
yeah.
Take it with a pinch of salt.
I think Jose
Yeah,
wanted him at
man.
Roma. I think that's what that's. Is he? Is
Yeah,
that
I
the one
think
you're
he's
talking
going
about?
to Roma, and I think we're trying. Apparently, I don't know. You know, people always spin this interest and make it look like we're trying to hijack. But yeah, apparently,
that's
he's some
facts.
Brazilian winger still. But do you guys think that
Go on.
Ten Hag was Do you guys think that Ten Hag was anticipating Greenwood to come back?
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Because that was the plan.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was the plan because when they put out that Fugazi statement, the first one I'm talking about.
They wanted to test
and
the
it
waters, innit?
And it didn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? They put out a statement saying absolutely. They put out a
Literally
statement basically saying we're going to
nothing.
put out a statement.
Yeah.
That's legit what it was. Put out a statement saying we are going to put out a statement. Like what in the world is going on? And then because of the backlash they received, this is why they tried to put it on we're going to talk to the women's team. And then the women players who have nothing to do with the situation start
Nothing.
getting abused online. So like I said, I've made my thoughts clear on Greenwood. But aside from that, if you're gonna bring him back, just stand on it. If they was going to bring him back, stand on it and say, yes, we're bringing him back on such and such a date, and then just keep it stepping. Because really and truly, there ain't much really people can do. There ain't really too much people can do if they chose to bring him back. But they knew it was wrong. That lets you know. That's why they tried to weasel their ways around it and tried to be and were cowards about it. Or let's put it on the women. Or let's test the waters. Why are you testing the waters if you know it's correct in what you're doing? There wouldn't be any testing the waters. But you know from a moral standpoint, forget the fact he wasn't found guilty. Moral standpoint, they know he was fucked up. That's why there was backlash online. And we're a fan base who don't agree on shit. And we couldn't even agree on that, to be honest. But most people did, I would say.
I mean, that's the thing. Like what you said. Sorry, Flawless. You said
That's cool.
football fans don't make the decisions. Imagine if we had to make decisions for everything, like signing Mount. You would get people saying yes, right? But how many people would say no? With everything, there's going to be a yes and no. So you're the club. You make the decision. You need to have, the guts, the confidence to make your decision, stand by it, and firm what's going to come after. You knew that if you wanted to bring him back, there was going to be backlash. There was going to be bad press. You didn't need to test the waters. Like, they're just a bunch of cowards. The whole situation ran poorly.
Cowards.
That's it.
And listen, these guys are PR experts, and they couldn't see this. Twats, a bunch of twats.
Do you know what I mean?
Egypt. How could you not see that? All right, you know what? Maybe bringing him back, we get backlash from fans and other people. Shock horror.
Like Spin Central, this club will spin negative news and just announce a signing on certain days and all of that. Now you couldn't see this coming, man. A bunch of twats. A lot, man.
Egypt. That's why them man are absolute just Egypt. And to Walmsley T, who says we bought a £60 million problem. The fans didn't want Mount. I agree. We did buy a £60 million problem. I'm not hearing the fans didn't want Mount because fans was on it. Go back and look at live streams on this very channel. Walmsley Taylor, I don't know if you're new or not, but there's many shows on this channel. This one in particular, ManDem United podcast, Q&As. That's why Rhino's smiling because he knows he's been in the comments. People was for this. People was arguing for this.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who was like, oh, this is horrible. This is such a bad idea. No.
And you know what they'll do, Flawless? They'll say that you just anticipated it because when it goes wrong, you want to celebrate. No. Some things you can just see with your eyes. You can just see.
Clear as day that you could see, yo, this is not it. And I wanted to be wrong. When we got him, I'm like, all right, I'm hoping he comes back from this injury, 4 to 6 weeks, and he's phenomenal. And he gets loads of goals, loads of assists, you know what I'm saying, and has an overall great impact on the team. But I've watched him at Chelsea. I've watched him at Chelsea for 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? In depth, especially in the past 2, the amount of Chelsea games I've watched. And I see that and I'm like, nah. That's why their midfield is now better than us.
Yeah.
Their midfield is now better than ours with Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo. We helped them pay for that. We took their trash and helped them pay for that. But hey, we move, innit? We move. Continue to bump up the likes. Final few questions before we do indeed close out. But Zeno, I want to get to something you mentioned in regards to the attack. So who would you sign then, in regards, if you could, in terms of attackers? What would you look for? Because you mentioned that being, in your opinion, our biggest problem.
Ah, man, our biggest problem is defense, midfield, and attack. But
Man, name the whole team, you know.
if we have to like sidetrack quickly, where would you
Yeah,
rank our front three? Where would you rank it? Like as a top four? Would you put it top four?
I add Hoyland into that. No, but I think, let me think.
Okay, what's our best front
To
line
me,
first of all?
I think
Yeah,
I think it's Rashford, Hoyland, Anthony. I think that's our best three.
Anthony.
Yeah, I think it's our best three. Yeah.
Okay, and then where do you rank that front three?
All right, it's not better than City's. Ain't better than Liverpool's. Ain't better than Arsenal's. Ain't better than Newcastle's.
Yeah,
Uh,
Villa have a strong front three.
who's Villa's front three? Bailey, Watkins, and it's
But
like
you know
fifth,
what? It
sixth.
is
Yeah,
flawless
but-
though,
It's like
and
fifth,
Zeno
sixth.
though. Do you
Yeah,
know what
but-
it is though?
Burnley have a better front line. I'm sorry.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
even know their front three. I think
I
it's
don't
fifth,
know.
sixth.
I might be controversial here, yeah, but
Yeah, go on.
if we actually think about this realistically, yeah,
Go on,
this
man,
front
this is good.
three is not that bad. It's just that
It's not the worst.
Look, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna come across contradictory, but let me land. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand it's what we see and what they prove, and we can't just work on potential. But realistically, if they just make the right decisions and do what they need to do, they are dangerous. Realistically, I don't know. Maybe you guys might think I'm forcing it, but I don't know, man.
No,
And to Koala J, before
agree
you go, he
with
says
you.
we're judging Hoyland from profile and comps. That's all we can judge him from, is profile, comps, and a few games, because I'm not watching Serie A week in, week out. So that's all I can go off. I'm sorry I'm not sat down on a weekly basis watching Atalanta versus Lecce. You know what I'm saying? I'm not watching Atalanta travel away to Empoli. I'm not watching Atalanta at home to Palmero. I'm sorry, I'm not. So all I can go from is a few bits and pieces I've seen in games, his profile, and comps. Actually, even comps, yeah. And a few comps, that's all I'm going from. So that's why I said with Hoyland in the mix. So I'm saying he's going to be at least, I like his profile. Because if I didn't like his profile, I'd be sat here being critical. If we went and signed a slow, non-mobile, non-athletic striker, I'd be like, oh, it's terrible with him in it. But with Hoyland, I think we'll get joy because of his profile. So I think it's like the fifth or sixth. But go on, Rhino. I know you wanted to get to it.
Yeah, nah, Zeno's gonna say something.
Oh, Zeno,
in
yeah, go on,
response to
Zeno.
what I
Oh,
say, yeah.
no, I just want to say you're spot on, because I think our biggest issue is that decision making, but there's some things you also can't teach, right? I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
where would you put it on though? Is it Ten Hag for not having a structure and the patterns of play instilled into them and drilled into them so that they don't really have to use their own IQ? Or do you think it's down to their own IQ? Do you think that they're not making the right decisions because they just don't understand the game like that, or
Good question.
they don't have the chemistry
It's not
together?
ingrained. Yeah, it's a good question. I feel like I'll more put it on them because when they understand it, they play really well. When Rashford was actually doing more attributes as a 9, we know he's not good with his back facing the goal. He likes to run in and have that yard of space. But what I would say is that, yes, on the players, because they do it for a while and then they revert back to type. They've had so many years of bad, very, very poor coaching. So I think it is Ten Hag's doing what he can, but if he can drill it into these players, I don't know. But we've had one whole year. I just don't understand. We've got people like McCarthy, and I don't get why. I just don't get it, bro.
But I
It
think
goes
that's-
back to Flawless's point, man. They're just not good.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just not good enough. That's what it is.
But the thing is also, like, Brighton, look at them, their patterns, look what that produces. Now, I think our front three affects the midfield, which affects the defense. I think the defense affects the midfield, which affects the attack, and the midfield affects the attack and defense, right? We need to play collectively. We can't be
As a
isolated. Front three, do you know what I mean? Front three need to do their job, as in dropping back, helping the midfield. Then the midfield helping the defense, vice versa. We need our fullbacks getting forward, midfielders going in the right spaces,
Yes.
playing the right passes.
The
I think
basics.
the basics of football, and I don't know. We could, if Ten Hag gets the team going, then maybe you could put our front three up there.
Literally,
But-
bro.
Yeah,
If Anthony's running and certain men are covering like little pockets and that, He will have
Yeah.
options, and he won't do this dumb shot
But
or
but
trap
but
back.
my question is why can De Zerbi get Brighton playing better in a less amount of time with
Players are
less?
hungrier.
Do you know what I
Players are
mean?
Pressure.
hungrier.
You got to add in
Yeah.
pressure as well.
Yeah, and
The
pressure.
pressure
We're a
and
bigger ship to
expectation.
steer, like I was saying yesterday. It's
Yeah,
a big
true.
ship. So these
Because-
players are in Brighton. No pressure. Yeah, go on and
Yeah.
through this.
Nah, I was going to say, because if De Zerbi came to Manchester United and was playing the football, we'd love it. But if we got their results, we'd kick off. If we had Brighton results, we would kick off. And rightfully
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Brighton just
That's
finished sixth,
true.
right? If De Zerbi came to us and finished sixth, we would kick off. That's what it is. Like, as much as I rate De Zerbi and what he's doing at Brighton, people got to understand the expectation level at Manchester United and Brighton are in two completely different universes.
The shirt a long ways.
I'm saying
yeah.
they got beat
Yeah.
5-1. They got beat 5-1 on their home patch by a Sean Dyche Everton, and nobody mentions it. People still bring up
Yeah.
7-0 to this day. Well, let us go get packed. Let us get packed 5-1 at home to Sean Dyche's Everton, who were battling relegation at that point, who were in the relegation
We'll
zone.
never hear the end of it.
Never ever hit, and rightfully so, because that shouldn't happen to Manchester United. But my point I'm making is, you can have bad results and things like that at Brighton. That's
Yeah.
why Graham Potter, everyone was shocked by it, because for those that, myself included, didn't do their due diligence. But I'm not gonna look in depth at Graham Potter because he's going Chelsea. But when you look at the run he went on at Chelsea, he had very similar runs at Brighton, where they go 3-10. And 4-15 and 2-5. But guess what? You're at Brighton.
Good point.
So no one's
Yeah.
really looking at it. But if you're at Manchester United, if you're at Chelsea, I throw Liverpool and Arsenal in that mix too. If you don't win 2 games in a row, oh shit. Emergency meeting. What's going on? Bear in mind, we won our first game. And
Yeah.
here our fan base. We won our first game. So we are 1-2. We've lost 1 game, and here's the conversation. And don't get me wrong, people. I'm not saying the conversation shouldn't be happening. I'm talking about the level of conversation that we're having. We are the
Yeah,
talk
no.
of the town. Chelsea are yet to get a win. It's more conversation about us. They just got packed 3-1 by West Ham, drew against Liverpool. Obviously, that's a tough game. But people don't talk. That's the point that I'm making. Is like in regards to Brighton, like the level
Yeah.
is different in terms of expectation. Because we
Yeah,
won't
no,
accept their
100%,
results. Okay, go on.
100%. You're spot on. We're the biggest club in England, but
Yes.
if you can't wear the shirt, if it's weighing too much, you need to go. Simple as.
Agreed with that. I agree with that 110%. Like we do, and a lot of these players again are just not good enough. Because them players who people talking about for Brighton, they're good enough for Brighton. Because Brighton had 6, praise De Zerbi. Woo! You know what I'm saying? Brighton career, the Premier League high finish into Europe, Europa League. Congrats. We don't accept that. For Brighton, that's okay. And that's why I keep using them as an example, because people keep, so I'm not using, but people could, De Zerbi this, De Zerbi that. Let's put the level of expectation into consideration, because we've seen it with Graham Potter. Because Graham Potter was praised at Brighton, and rightfully so, very similar to how De Zerbi is. And he went to Chelsea and died. Quick, because Chelsea fans are accepting that. The level of expectation there is much, much different. You don't win 2 games at Chelsea. Let Poch lose their next game. Let them lose to Luton at home, because it's tomorrow. And watch the conversation shift. Now, let's say Brighton lose their 2 games. One of them's us, and then whoever else they play. You don't hear nothing. It's not a conversation. And that's just legit what it is. And even the players as well. The players are good enough for Brighton level. Yeah, obviously, you got your Caicedos and McAllisters. But let's not forget, look at the amount of players they've sold who have been duds. Most players who have left there haven't done well. Cucurella, Mopé. Who else the hell did they sell? There's more. The chat will let me know.
Yeah.
But there's more.
Yeah.
That I can't remember off the top of my head. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's it.
no, 100%. You're right. Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. But like I said, we just need that competent DOF. We need a better structure. We've been crying for how long, man? When is it gonna change?
Let
Hopefully,
us
the
get
new
a better
ownership.
structure,
Man.
ManDem. Is
Definitely.
game over.
We definitely need a better structure. But in regards to the front three, back to that, I think it's like 5th, 6th. And even if you
Fifth,
take
sixth.
Anthony out, I'd personally like play Diallo, but I don't see him playing Diallo there wide right. But with Anthony, even though he's been awful these first 2 games, I did say I'm giving him the season, like, it's your time to deliver. So I'm not going to completely write him off after 2 games, because if he was exceptional in the first 2 games, I wouldn't be like, yo, we should have gave him the number 7 shirt. He's the guy to lead us into the future for the next decade. Like, no, it's on a case-by-case basis. So, yes, he definitely needs to step up. And if he should be dropped against Forest. Probably won't be. He should be, though, in essence.
Yeah.
But we'll see with that. But I don't think the front three, once Hoyland gets there, and this is me, again, going off profile, I think that would just be an improvement. because he's an actual 9.
Yeah.
Because we
So
don't
would
have one.
you say
Go on.
5th, 6th? Like what's top 6?
Yeah,
6,
yeah,
right?
about fifth,
Fifth,
5th,
sixth.
6th. Yeah.
Okay, let's
You
go
guys
to our
still different.
midfield 3 now. Our best midfield 3. What would we say? Like,
I'd say
or
it's the one
just
from
the one
last
that
year,
start,
personally.
the one
Well,
that
you saying the one that
Eric,
starts or the one that
the one
the
we're
one that
playing.
starts or
Yeah.
the one that starts is horrific. It's awful. It's
Where
awful.
would you rank that? Like 15th, 16th, 19th?
Comes the midfielders.
Oh, it's awful. Bruno Mount, not top 10. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
probably like 12th or something like that. It's awful. It's awful.
And we're judging it on the balance, innit? And the
Yeah,
quality.
The
yeah,
balance,
the
yeah.
balance.
just
Yeah,
on
we're
the
doing it as a
balance.
unit, not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
individuals.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
as
yeah,
a
for
unit,
sure.
it's awful.
That's
It's awful.
bad. Casemiro, like in a 12th. That's
Goes to show how bad the other
the
team.
reality.
It goes to show. That's why the penny needs to drop, and he needs to. Not only do we need to sign midfielders, don't play Mount and Bruno next to each other. Even if you have to shift one of them wide right.
Yeah.
Even though as much as I don't want to see it, don't have those two central. I'd rather, like Eddie says it all the time about Bruno, get him out of the middle of the pitch, play him wide right, get him out of traffic.
Level.
It's awful. Yeah, Kaneki's right.
Yeah,
It's awful.
but he plays wide right, and has he had a good performance playing wide right? I don't remember
Bruno?
from last season. Yeah.
Probably one game.
At the bigger games, yeah, Barcelona.
I think Man
he
City.
played well.
I think Man City
Barcelona
played
away
around
and City
the right.
at home. He does a job. I said it
Yeah.
on Ranter's stream before this. He's the new age Pat G Sung. Again, people, not in skill level. I'm talking about in terms of profile. He's a spoiler. He's a try-hard. He's there to stop the opposition from playing. So whether that's the left back, whether that's the deep lying playmaker, whoever that's be. Say, for instance, we're playing Chelsea and we wanted someone to stop Enzo. Bruno, that's your job. Every time Enzo gets the ball, don't let him play a pass forward, be on his case. Same way if we're playing Liverpool and Robertson's getting high up the pitch. Hey, Bruno, that's on you. Stop Robertson being an outlet for Liverpool. Just using those two as examples, people. That's where, very similar, Pat G Sung. Now, don't get me wrong, Pat G Sung is a better player. But
Yeah.
that's what he should be used as. That's why I don't think he's completely useless. But this whole, give him the keys to the kingdom, he's our creative outlet. No. That's washed.
Do you think Mount
That's
could be that spoiler playing wide right and just
They're the same shit,
with his
yes.
work rate, to
Ironically,
destroy?
yes.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. Mount is also in that. He's just worse
Mm.
overall as a player, but they're the same profile. Mount's a spoiler.
Yeah.
He's a try-hard, stop other players from playing.
Teacher's pet. Yeah.
That's what he is. We're playing whoever in it. We're playing, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a team. We're playing Arsenal and we're trying to stop Zinchenko from inverting and getting on the ball. At the Emirates, for example. Hey, Mount, stop Zinchenko getting on the ball and dictating play. I think he'll do fine at that. Get him off the ball. You know what I'm saying? But even that's disappointing. Get him off the ball. We don't need you on the ball. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't even, in these first 2 games, that's been the problem. You ain't even delivered off the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? And to Koala J says Mount is not worse than Bruno. 2 cheeks of the same ass. Makes no difference. I'm not about to sit here and argue about who's better or not between both of them. Both of them are not good enough. If you believe Bruno's
Mount
better
is
than Mount,
worse
cool.
than Bruno, man. Come on,
Whether,
guys.
Rhino, whether they are or not, both not good enough. To me, I legit mean that. 2 cheeks of
Yeah.
the same ass. You know what I'm saying? And that. Like, that's what it is. Neither of them are good enough.
Flawless has the mad sayings.
Yo, it's facts. That's why I hate debating it. You know what I'm saying? And that. People say it to me all the time. Oh, who would you prefer out of a player who's an average player versus average player? And I'm like, what if like I see it? That someone said, oh, who would you prefer, like Anthony, Mudryk, or Pepe? They're all bad. Why are they my options? Why are we here just talking mid versus mid? Which is what I think most of the Premier League is. You know what I'm saying? And that. Hey, Courtney, you're wild with that, but we move. You know what I'm saying? That's how that. Yeah,
All
you
right.
wild with
Let's.
that.
Okay. So we got our front 3. We're saying 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
Midfield 3.
We'll just say
16th,
mid-table.
Right.
We'll just say
Mid-table. Now defense. What's our best defense? Wan-Bissaka, Shaw,
think
Varane, Martinez.
I put,
Defense is
you
up
can say
there.
Shaw.
I know,
I'd say Malacia.
no.
Oh no,
Malacia?
I put
Yeah.
I put Malacia in there personally, but I think as a defensive unit, those 5 I trust, even with Shaw in there, because that was the platform to why we were so successful last season. It was that
Definitely top
defense.
4.
Oh yeah, it's easy. It's comfortably top 4
Yeah.
as a unit and from an individual standpoint. Like obviously City, you would say yes. Arsenal, I can't comment because they're currently playing what? Partey,
Right.
who's left back? Yeah, like they're playing a new left back, Ben
Yeah,
White
yeah,
and Saliba.
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
think their defense from
Testing
last
around.
season was better than this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Timber got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, because
With
Timber got injured, so
Timber,
he's
it
a
would have
left
been a
back.
mad thing. Yeah, Timber
Yeah,
would have
because
been.
Timber, but Partey at right back, Ben White, Saliba. So I think I'd argue ours is better than Arsenal's. City better. Arsenal, I would argue, we're better. Liverpool, we're definitely better.
What about
Spurs,
Newcastle?
there's looks. Newcastle's is very good.
Newcastle's
As
a
a unit,
solid.
they're better than us.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
unit.
As a unit,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I'd say top 4 is fair. I'd say top 4 is fair.
Top 4, yeah.
As a
Yeah, I guess
defensive
so.
unit.
I think Onana's changed a lot, but
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, right? So with De Gea, one issue we had is obviously not being able to pass the ball, right? Just clearing it out long. But now, what teams would do is they would press De Gea. What teams do now is they step back away from Onana, and if he plays a long ball, guess what? Our players can't control it. Our players can't bring
Yeah.
it down. They can't receive the passes. So we're still in the same situation because with De Gea, they weren't getting the pass. Now they're not able to receive it because, like you said, they're not good enough.
Yeah. Nah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but I just
Nah,
noticed. I don't know.
you're not lying. We know we lack technical ballers, so it's not a lie. Even as much as Onana's an improvement. And to Matthew, who says Arsenal's system better at defending, yeah, that's why I said arguable. But I'd put United's top 4. Like I said, ours is top 4. I wouldn't say
Even
Arsenal's
someone was
clear.
saying the other day, like the vim as to how Onana passes the ball, and he was giving it to Casemiro, and Casemiro was like, and then someone was like, "Right, doesn't Onana realize that he's passing to Casemiro? Like, be easier." And when someone said that, I was laughing because Onana passes it with
but he puts
hold
it
that.
on.
He tells you to hold that, like control the ball. Like, let me see your touch. You know what I mean?
Oh man, how's the ball to Garnacho? Should have done
That was
so
cold.
much better,
That was
man.
cold. That was cold.
Way down.
Because he was well off his line. I was thinking, who's that? Because the screen, the camera was slow moving on what I was watching. So then when it's moved, and I was like, who's that pass? Like, oh shit, that's Onana. Man's out of his goal, controlled the ball. And then he's hit the pass, and I'm thinking, who has he passed that to? And then Garnacho just appeared on the screen. I'm like, all right.
We should be
Yeah.
capitalizing on that, man.
Yes.
We'll have a different story, you know.
That's where it comes
decision-making.
to what you said, decision making. How did he flop that pass? I don't understand. And again, I think it's because Garnacho's not ready to start.
Yeah, he was not sure what to do. He was in two minds. Listen, he was battling.
And to shout
Only
out
have
my
a
guy
couple
Jez as well.
seconds.
Shout out my guy Jez, who says, how do you guys feel about Onana possibility coming back to Cameroon and playing in AFCON in Jan? Not good. You know what I'm saying?
good
That's what
for
we
us,
need
yeah.
is him missing. That's the only downside to signing African players is AFCON being in the middle of the
yeah.
season. It'd be a blow, but depending on, I'd have to look at the fixture list and what he would miss. And hopefully
Yeah.
I think that's why
You're
Ten
not
Hag
playing
is so
anyone
keen
major.
on the secondary goalkeeper. So
Yeah.
it was,
No, that's
and he
cool.
said it in one of his interviews and press conference. He said, "Look, people don't realize how important second goalkeepers are. You never know what could happen."
Yeah,
I
facts.
think
And obviously-
we're signing one. I forgot. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I've
where it's
seen like
from,
2
6
different
million,
links.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see
yeah.
some kind of Saudi link, and I've seen another one as well. I'm a bit confused with that, but
No, that's
That's
fine.
gonna be tough depending on the fixtures.
Yeah,
we
that's
should
what I
have
was
just
going to
kept
say.
Kovac, man.
It depends.
Kovac, whatever his name is. We should have just kept him, man.
That's why I said it
I
depends
liked
on
him
the
in
fixtures.
preseason.
Oh, you're a fan? Okay, it depends on the fixtures in
Yeah.
terms of like what he would miss. Obviously, if we're away at Anfield and away at the Etihad in that period, that's much more concerning than if we're at home to sides battling relegation, for example. So yeah, that's what it is. Ideally, I wouldn't like to see him go to AFCON, but he might
flow,
sort it
innit?
out. Yeah, it does 100%, especially if he's in good form and like defensively we're in good form as well. But hey, we move. But hey, large up to everyone that's tuned in. Still over 115 of you lot in the building. Well over 100 likes, so big up. Hit the subscribe button. We are at 7,792. 8 more people. Get us to 7,800. That's what we want to get to, man. 8 more subscribers before we close out. Get your questions in. Just keep them Manchester United related as well. I'm trying to think, what else have we actually not discussed? Rhino, anything we not discussed you want to talk about? 'Cause like I said, we've not smoked since before the first game.
Yeah, it's been a minute, you know.
Yeah, it's been a minute, yeah.
And what haven't we spoke about as well?
If there's anything you want to
Amrabat,
suggest.
do you think?
Talk about it.
What do you think about the pressure? Like, do you think there's a lot of pressure? Because think about it, yeah. When you look at all the podcasts, we're all desperate for Amrabat, and I'm just trying to see. I'm just wondering how it looks like on the rivals' point of view. Like, look at these guys crying for Amrabat. And obviously, I think they don't realize the balance that he brings to our squad. Like, but do you think there's a lot of pressure on him? That's what I was going to ask you guys.
We did mention that. Obviously, you had clicked off your camera, but in regards to Amrabat, yeah, definitely. Whatever midfielder we sign, there's a lot of pressure on. However, it can work in its favor because the bar's on the floor. if he comes in and does the basics, we're going to cheer it. Because people forget that. When Maguire, I remember when Harry Maguire made his debut and the ball went up in the air and he headed the ball forward and the stadium erupted because we hadn't seen that for so long.
Yeah.
People go and check whatever that, I can't remember who we played
United
against.
made a comp. They made a compilation about that.
Go check Maguire's debut, people. Get the actual full game if you can. It should be available wherever you're at. And the ball, it was early on in the game. And the ball went up in the air. It was like just like halfway line, just inside the Manchester United half. And he headed it out and the crowd erupted. Simply because we hadn't seen anybody be aggressive and attack the football. So that's what it is with Amrabat. If the game starts and he crashes into someone on the halfway line, guess what? The place is going to erupt. You know what I'm saying? Even if he missed time to tackle himself out, no, I don't think he's overrated. I think some fans may be expecting too much from him.
Yeah.
But I don't go as far to say he's overrated because I've said him. We got linked to Amadou Onana, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that, and we definitely need to sign somebody. We need more athleticism in there, man.
Yeah,
We got no pace,
man.
no power. No, I've said before, I say it again, and people in this chat have criticized me about, why you always talk about pace and power? Because it's a pace and power league. That's why.
100%.
You need pace and power. You need
And
athleticism.
physical.
That's one thing that any team that is successful here or any team that's successful in Europe has. When you look at City, as good as they are technically, athletes. There's pace, there's power, there's physicality, there's agility, there's balance. All these things add into the mix. We don't have none of that, in particular in our midfield. We don't. We just got energy. Bruno. I'm saying, I'm older than Bruno, I'm more athletic. And he's a professional footballer. Make that make sense. Mount's just energy. These managers' energy, Cass is strong, so he'll give you the power element. But that's legit just it. Scott McTominay, yeah, I suppose so. But then he has pretty much no ability. Yeah, he's limited, so he don't really make. Who else we got? Eriksen, we know what he gives you technical standpoint, but what he lacks from a physical standpoint. Striker, we haven't had. Obviously, you got Rashford, who gives you pace and power. Garnacho gives you electric pace. Palestri gives you electric pace. Anthony, to an extent, gives you pace as well, and he's not strong, but he's not weak, is what I would say. But we just don't have enough, man, athletes in the side. That's all legit is. But hey, but I'm with that, man. Amrabat.
Why do you? So you lot as well. Another question: why do you feel like we struggle to get rid of players? Obviously, I know we're going to talk about wage boards and whatever, but there's other ways that if you really want to get rid of a player, you would. Why do you? Obviously, we know the owners don't care as well, but is there any other reasons why you think we struggle so bad to just get rid of players? Why?
Go on, Zeno. You can answer first. Back in one sec.
I think it comes down to ruthlessness, right? But the main thing is the wage. What did Maguire ask to leave? What was his payout? 9 or 12 million?
12 mil, yeah.
Exactly.
We're offering him 6 or something, yeah.
Exactly. So number one is the money. We put them on stupid wage when they come in. Instead of giving them, look, you get minimum 100k, right? Which is insane. But you give them their bonuses. You perform, you'll get your big contract. First come, first perform. Because we know, like you said, coming to United, that badge is heavy. You can't bring them for 90 million on 250k, 300k a week. And if they don't perform, another 4 years of that?
Yeah.
And then if we want to get rid of them, we'd have to sell them for 20 million. So other clubs, use that to fund their wages. So number one, it is wages. And definitely, I think also maybe a pride thing or with England, do you think players would still get the opportunity? I think Maguire would. He'd still play for England regardless of where he went. Yeah.
So I'm saying, people like
but
Maguire,
the thing is, right?
Pride,
right. So if Ten Hag throws him in the reserves, the first 2 games, if he threw him in the reserves, Maguire is he has the ego. Okay, now I don't think Southgate is going to choose me. Let me go to West Ham.
Yeah, force his hand in it.
Exactly. Force his hand. Jose did it. I think he did it to Schweinsteiger. He said, right, go play for the reserves. When you find a club, you can go.
But in his defense, because I thought this as well till I think it was someone like Terry. He made a good point.
Yeah.
And once the transfer window's open, you have to make these players look as attractive as possible. So you have to big them up in the press conferences. You can't be putting them on the bench or reserves, because if you're trying to sell him in the last week, West Ham are going to think, hold on, he's a bench player. We don't want to, he's a reserve. So I feel like that's important as well. But once this window closes, I want to see a different Ten Hag. Yeah. If we still have Maguire and that, put him with the under 21s, bro, under 23s, wherever. I want to see that. So let's see, man. Let's see.
But
bro.
you see now after they already like what inquired, put the money there, and he said no because he wants the
Yeah,
12 million. Don't you think that warrants him going to the reserves? Now,
Yeah. I would, because I'm fed up with him. I'm so angry with Maguire. I swear, to you, I'm so angry with him. Obviously, we have to look at it from a player's standpoint as well. If you are Maguire, you're gonna use the power you have to hand in it.
Yeah.
Cool, but come on, man. Just look at the bigger picture, my broski, man. Just go and be the captain of West Ham.
I think it's a mix of things as to why we can't sell players. One, because the players are just not very good. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two was negotiating in terms of value. And number three, the wages they're on. So when you combine those three things, it makes it very, very tough to move players on. People got to understand, if you fail at Manchester United, it's not like you're going to someone better than us. None of these players we sell go to better teams or better situations. None of them. Your Dan Jameses. We look at, Fred just went Galatasaray. He just went Turkey. Like, what are we talking about?
What about Thingy, though? Thingy's doing all right at Roma. But it's Roma. But what's his name?
You answered the question yourself right now. It's Roma. My point. Who just won the Conference League and got hyped up. Salute to them.
Smalling, yeah.
he's at
Smalling.
Roma.
I'll take Smalling right now.
But the thing is, he's at
Pause, but
Roma.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who's like top 6 Italian side, just won the Conference League, the third tier European competition. We're trying to compete in the first tier.
Yeah,
That's where we're at with it. So when you look like even a Matic who went, he's gone Roma. Roma are not better or above Manchester United in regards to stature or ambition. They're over the moon about winning the Conference League. Our fan base would be complaining about being in the Conference League. There's a huge difference. Again, this comes back to the Brighton thing I mentioned earlier. Expectations.
yeah.
So much different. Matic, Smalling, Brandon Williams has been linked to who? Ipswich, Dean Henderson's Forest, McTominay, West Ham, Maguire, West Ham, Everton.
I think Williams is gone now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's gone. But like the point I'm making is just look at the team. None of these men are going City. You know what I'm saying? Going Arsenal, going to a Chelsea who at least aims that. I'm saying, or going to a Real Madrid, going to a Bayern Munich. That tells you where the levels is at. So when you can, like I said, combine those three things of players just not being very good, the value we're looking for and how we negotiate, and the big wages, that makes it very, very, very tough to move on players.
But your point number one, right, is what I also said. We don't develop players, and we don't. Do you know what I mean? So I said, Rhino said you have to make them look as attractive as possible. But that's in the last few weeks. These guys are going to look at his whole career at United. Which player has come since Fergie left, and they've improved as a player in our own team since they've come? When we signed them, who? No one. They're going to look at the whole thing. Look, Bellingham. Was it Bellingham? Alex Ferguson gave him a tour of our facilities, and he chose Dortmund. Solskjaer went to Norway, went to Haaland's house, spoke to his dad, and still got rejected. And he went to Dortmund.
It's mad. Yeah, it's crazy. And to Jez, you said, so what you're saying, once you leave Manchester United, you only go... Yeah, even in our successful period, when you look at players who leave here, they don't, very, very few of them have success elsewhere. Like, people may point to Pogba, which he did, but Pogba was never was a starter for Manchester United. He never was a consistent squad player. I'm talking players who are at least consistent squad players. And none of them have left, to my knowledge, in the past 20 years and have been successful at the highest level that I can think of. They might have had success. And
would you consider Inter Milan? Because Inter Milan.
Maybe Young, because he won a Serie A. Yeah. Maybe you could say Young.
Lukaku.
Young's a soldier, you know.
Yeah, you could say Lukaku. Yeah, you could say Ashley Young. One.
Yeah,
he's probably the exception to the rule.
Lukaku Sanchez.
Mkhitaryan went Roma, Koala J. He went Roma. Did he go Roma or did he go Inter? Where did he go first? Was it not Roma? Where's he at now? See, we can't even remember. That's how successful he is. That we can't even remember. Koala J.
Nah, he went Arsenal for the swap deal. Remember?
Oh yeah, he went Arsenal at first.
I think the only person actually, there's another Ronaldo. Ronaldo's the only person. We actually developed him and made him into a mad beast.
And ironically, a player we didn't want to sell.
Yeah.
We didn't want to sell because he was supposed to go the season before he left, and Fergie persuaded him.
Penny pinching though. It's only a few. You're right,
it's a few in, but like there's very few. And you mentioned it there. Mkhitaryan went Arsenal first, and did so badly that they shipped him off to Italy. Yeah. It was a swap deal where both sides lost.
I think we lost more, to be honest. But
Yeah, we might have lost more, but again, it comes back to
Yeah.
Mount Bruno, two cheeks of the same ass. Well, the same different. Like that's legit what it is. Koala JC, man, I reach him. I said, Welbeck, my guy, I fucks with Welbeck. But he's had a success. Don't get me wrong. You can have a successful career, but I'm talking about leaving Manchester United and having a successful career at the highest level. I'm talking about going and win your domestic league wherever you're at and also challenge in Europe. Very few players do that. Very, very few players do that. Like even the one we mentioned with Young, they didn't challenge with they weren't challenging in Europe whilst he was there. They were afterthoughts.
yeah.
Afterthoughts. It's like, if they get out of the group stages, that's good. They were legit, not even dark horses. Like, what are we talking about here? They were also rents. But we move. Hey, large up everyone that is still tapped in. We are going to close out shortly. Don't forget, we got the fan calling show coming up 9 p.m. on the Twitch. So feel free to call in. That's 9 p.m. on the Sarcasm City TV Twitch, and that's open for anybody to call in. Don't have to be a Manchester United fan. Doesn't matter who you support. Feel free to call in as well. I wanted to get to something someone said earlier about the Mo Salah thing as well, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Matthew says, Flawless, just wondering if your opinion on Saudi is a bit different after Neymar and other players gone there. Salah might go too. No, because I think you're getting at the point I made is people worried about, Saudi League taking over. And I said, until they come and take stars in their prime, who other clubs want, there's nothing to worry about. They're taking stars who are at the last stages of their careers. Your Benzemas, your Mahrezes, your Kante, who have been there and done it. Now, if they take Salah, which I don't think the Salah deal will happen, by the way, but if they take Salah, that's a statement of intent. Because you've come to Europe and taken arguably the best right winger in his position. Arguably, and he's not like he's over the hill or he's in the last stages of his career. In regards to Neymar, there was no other offers for him. That's where Neymar ended up. If someone in Europe legitimately wanted Neymar, he'd still be in Europe. That's why João Felix is probably going to end up out there. Because guess what? Nobody in Europe wants to take the risk with João Felix. That's a whole different conversation about Neymar and João Felix and others. Like the whole Ronaldo situation. That's why Ronaldo ended up there. Someone in Europe wanted Ronaldo, he'd still be in Europe. Saudi's the only destination for some of these players. Go get the big bag. But if they do indeed sign Salah, that's a big statement of intent from them, man. Huge statement of intent. But I'm not concerned or worried. That's Liverpool's lookout. I hope they do sign him. That's Salah-less Liverpool.
I think
7
I saw
days
a
before the
tweet.
window closes.
They're saying that they're not looking to they're not looking to sell him at all.
They ain't gonna sell him. They ain't gonna sell him.
They can't afford to.
To Camille, who says they aren't doing it flawless. Name the bona fide stars that Saudi Arabia have took. Name one. Who's actually had offers elsewhere and has gone chose Saudi. Salah would be
Saudi
the first.
instead. Yeah, right.
They've taken everybody in their last stages or players their teams didn't want, like Chelsea, like your Koulibaly's and Mendy's and all them things. Name the bona fide stars.
But look, at the same time,
Go on.
some of the teams that have a better front three than us, if we're being real.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Without that.
I agree with you. Yeah, I would have taken
Don't get
Benz
mistaken,
United.
I would have took Benz at Manchester United. Without that. On a free. Like, we should have done that, but hey, that's a whole different conversation. Well, until they come and they start taking if they come and get a Mo Salah, if they come and take a Saka, if they come and take a Vinicius Jr., if they come and take a Tchouaméni, if they come and get Ruben Diaz, they come and that's the type of player I'm talking about. Like the bona fide, we're doing best 11s, best in Europe, and they're taking players from that. So Salah falls in that category. Saka falls in that. Like if they come get an Mbappe, who ironically rejected them. If they come and get a Haaland, that's the point that I'm making. Not no João Felix. Like, come on, man.
I think with them, I see it maybe as another Chinese league, where they're gonna do it, and then it's just not gonna be like self-sufficient, sustainable. I think I saw that they wanted to be a part of their economy, in terms of their revenue, because at the moment oil is about 42%, but in the periods when there is war and when there's something like COVID, all of that money drops, and they want the league to bring that revenue. I just don't think, because one, like you said, they're not going to sign the star players in the peak of their powers. I don't think that it's going to be sustainable enough to play these wages. It's crazy. Yes, they have unlimited money and they can do that, but again, it's not going to be sustainable. I think it's just going to be for a few years. I think, did they get the the rights or the thing to hold the World Cup, because I think they just won it for the World Cup, and then it's
Yeah, I
gonna
think I
die.
heard something like that. Yeah,
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I
I'm
think
sure I heard
Ronaldo
a whiff of something like that. So, yeah,
Ronaldo's gonna be like what Beckham was for Qatar. So he went to PSG to be the ambassador. Ronaldo's gonna be the ambassador, but like I just don't think it's sustainable. But the money they're
Yeah.
offering is crazy. Like,
Go get your bag. And the thing
yeah,
is that I'm not even like when you say, "Oh, Saudi take," I ain't worried. If Saudi Premier League do it all the time. How
yeah,
many times did we
exactly,
just go and sign
exactly.
big players from other European leagues? Now it's happening to the Premier League, and I put that in quotation marks. People are upset. I'm not upset about it. Please come and take some of our players. I beg. I beg. I'm saying
Marshall
please.
should go there, man.
Oh, please, man. Come and take some
They
of these
might
men.
have
I
some
beg.
special money there to keep him fit, bro. Something, man.
It is. But yeah, but we're going to close out this live stream, people. Big up to everyone that's tapped in. Rhino, let them know where they can find you, what you got coming up, all that good stuff. And the link for his channel is in the title as well, people, as well. Go on, fam.
Yeah, man. Big up the chat as always. Big up the chat, man. Big up Flawless, man. Thank you for having me, Zeno. Good
Anytime,
to meet you, and
Nice to meet you, bro.
I like your opinion as well, man. Good show, man. W show, but yeah, like the video, people. You can find me at Rhino MGTV. I'm trying to be more consistent with my football lives, but yeah, I'm going to be active most probably in the next few days. But I am dropping videos every other day on whatever's happening. So yeah, big up yourselves in the chat, and big up Flawless as always, man. Thank you for having me, my bro.
Yo, man, anytime you already know what it is. Zeno, let them know where they can find you, what you got coming up, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I put my Instagram there, but I do all my.
His
I started
Instagram.
again.
There you go, people. It's in the chat.
Uh,
It's on the screen as well.
all my football like takes, opinions, everything, all that content is on my TikTok, man like I'm Zeno. So yeah, just follow me there. And yeah, nice meeting you, Rhino. And Flawless,
Yes,
good
man.
to catch up again. It's
Yeah,
been
man.
good, man. We
It's
needed
been a
this,
minute,
bro.
man. Yeah, facts, man. It's been a minute. I feel like I not spoke there. I have not spoke to you in time. But yeah, you can see his
Yeah,
Instagram on there right now. And man like Hamzino with 3 O's at the end. That's
three
his
O's.
TikTok.
Yeah,
So make sure you do so. Don't forget, follow us on all audio platforms as well, people. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Sarcasm City TV, and this show and all the other shows on the channel will pop up. So if you prefer to listen while you're cooking, cleaning, driving, while you're at work, you might be on your way to the gym, you might just be traveling, or you might just not want to have the YouTube app open. You can listen on audio only form. So yeah, like I said, SoundCloud, hit us with a follow on there. All you Android users who are on Spotify, make sure you follow us and 5 stars on Spotify. Yeah, hey, you laughing, Zeno? What phone you got? You on Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
iPhone. All right, so this next one's for you, Zeno, and all you iPhone users. Get over to iTunes, Sarcasm City TV, and 5 star us on there. Zeno, you can 5 star us. Just type in Sarcasm City TV, please.
No
And that's to everyone
stress.
else as well. I
I had to
appreciate
do
it.
that.
So big up. Yeah, man. The same to you, Rhino. If you've got if you're an iPhone and that, just 5 stars on Sarcasm City TV on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Love to everyone who has locked in. Don't forget, follow us on Kick as well. We are on Kick, Sarcasm City TV, and all the Twitch content will be over on the Kick from the 1st of the month, from the 1st of September, Friday. Also watch-alongs, fan calling shows, NBA, NFL, F1, everything from the Twitch, apart from pro clubs, will be over on Kick. So make sure you follow Sarcasm City TV Kick. In regards to the rest of today as well, like I said, 9 p.m. over on the Twitch, people, for the fan calling show. So feel free. And then back here at midnight for the ManDem United. Gonna talk from the Arsenal podcast. So Manchester United Arsenal show. That's at midnight UK time. All these things I mentioned are on the upcoming live stream schedules. Anyway, we are gonna raid Months and the Big Six Bands gang. So go wind them up and say that Liverpool is shit and they're gonna lose Mo Salah. So yeah, big up to everyone that's locked in. This has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up.